The Undertaker's WrestleMania streak. The good, the bad, and the ugly. It's fair to say that The Undertaker's WrestleMania streak was one of the last truly good things left in wrestling. Starting all the way back in 1991 and lasting until 2013, his WrestleMania streak is truly an amazing feat, and one that, if you believe all the stories that have come out in the years since, was a complete accident. Today we are looking at The Undertaker's WrestleMania streak. We'll look back at the best matches and the worst matches, and also share our opinion on why ending it was such a waste of everyone's time. Thank you for taking this journey through the WrestleMania career of the dead man with us today. We aim to bring you regular and fun wrestling content, and if you want to keep up to date with that, please subscribe to the channel. If you stick around for the whole video and like what you see, we'd very much appreciate you giving us a like at the end. It helps us out way more than you would think. The beginnings. After making his debut at the 1990 Survivor Series, less than half a year later, Undertaker would get to make his WrestleMania debut. At WrestleMania 7 in 1991, he would face future Hall of Famer and WrestleMania 1 main event participant Jimmy Superfly Snuka. Truth be told, the match was nothing special, but it was a great way for Undertaker to make his first presence at WrestleMania. The following year, at WrestleMania 8, he would face another future Hall of Famer and legend in Jake the Snake Roberts. This match felt like a much bigger deal than his match the year prior. During the summer of 1991, Jake and The Undertaker had terrorized the Ultimate Warrior and then Macho Man Randy Savage, leading to The Undertaker turning face and trying to put a stop to Jake's evil ways. Of course, the real talking point about this match is the fact that Jake held Vince up for his release before the match took place. At WrestleMania 9 in 1993, we got what is one of the worst WrestleMania matches of all time, as Undertaker went face to face with the over 7 feet tall Giant Gonzalez. Gonzalez had made his debut in the WWF at the 1993 Royal Rumble, where he put a beating on The Undertaker. This was actually one of the main matches at WrestleMania 9, but due to his immense limitations, the match is not good at all. Undertaker would not even win the match by pinfall, but by disqualification. The best thing about his appearance here was the awesome entrance he made with a vulture accompanying him. We would have to wait 2 years for his next WrestleMania match, as The Undertaker was given some time off after the 1994 Royal Rumble, so he missed out on WrestleMania 10. In 1995 at WrestleMania 11 though, he was in a feud with the $1 Million Corporation, where at the 1995 Royal Rumble, he took on IRS, and here at WrestleMania 11, he took on King Kong Bundy. It's fair to say this is the worst of all Undertaker's WrestleMania matches. There's no other way to describe it. This match stunk the joint up big time. It's even worse than the match with Giant Gonzalez. This would not be the end of his run with the $1 Million Corporation either, as at SummerSlam, he would face his real-life friend Kama, the Godfather, or Papa Shango, in a casket match after Kama had stolen his urn and melted it down to make a gold chain. How would you rank The Undertaker's initial 4 WrestleMania matches? Also, out of the match with Giant Gonzalez and King Kong Bundy, which one do you think is worst? Running on diesel power. It would take until WrestleMania 12 for Undertaker to actually have a great match at a WrestleMania. Here, he was in a heated feud with Diesel, which was an absolute ton of fun to watch and something that started back at the 1996 Royal Rumble. These two big men had one hell of a match, and you could easily make the argument that it's one of the best big men matches the WWF ever produced. Some people even like this match better than the Iron Man match. Do you agree with us that this match is a hidden gem and one of Undertaker's best WrestleMania matches? A dark champion. Look, we all know that the lead up to WrestleMania 13 was an absolute mess. However, the shuffling of the deck did lead to Undertaker getting put in the main event to challenge Psycho Sid for the WWF Championship. To be fair, this match is actually better than you'd think it would be, and it's awesome that on his resume, Undertaker gets to not just put his epic streak, but also the fact that he did win the WWF Championship at a WrestleMania. There is the urban legend that Sid had an unfortunate accident when he took the tombstone in this match. That's gotta be Kane. Kane. His story with The Undertaker is some of the best storytelling the WWF has ever produced. After making his debut at In Your House Bad Blood in October of 1997, Kane and Paul Bearer would terrorize The Undertaker to try and bait him into facing his brother in the ring. Undertaker refused to fight his brother, but after being put in a casket and then lit on fire at the 1998 Royal Rumble, Undertaker knew that he had to face his brother. This match is a lot of fun. We get these very theatrical entrances and it is an all-out brawl. And rather than being an ending to the story, this was really just the start of what was to come between these two. Do you think this huge match lived up to the hype? Let us know in the comment section down below. Smell in a cell. After the huge high at WrestleMania 14, we got the terrible match at WrestleMania 15, where he not only defeated the Big Boss Man in the Hell in a Cell, he hung him from the top of it. Not only is this a bad match, but the execution of the hanging also looks absolutely terrible as well. Playing the game and beating the man. The next three WrestleManias in 17 and 18 would see Undertaker have two fantastic matches with his American Badass persona. A true hidden gem from WrestleMania is the brawl that he had with Triple H at WrestleMania 17. They fought all over the ringside area and just beat the hell out of each other. This is a match that deserves way more love and respect than it gets. The following year, Undertaker would face Ric Flair in what was a thrilling and entertaining match which saw him become 10-0 at WrestleMania. The following year, at WrestleMania 19, he would face Big Show and A-Train in a handicap match, and while that has stinker written all over it, the match is actually way more entertaining than you would think. Out of the three matches where he was the American Badass, which one's your favourite? The Dead Man returns. At WrestleMania 20, The Undertaker would go back to being the Dead Man. His entrance at WrestleMania 20 gives you chills, and Kane, who thought that he had killed his brother, was in shock. To be honest, this is not a great match at all, but seeing the real Undertaker back after all this time was very exciting. Speaking of exciting, he would have an excellent match with Randy Orton while Randy Orton was doing his Legend Killer persona. This was probably the first time where you felt that the streak really was in danger of ending, and in hindsight it probably would have made sense to pull the trigger on it here. The following year, at WrestleMania 22, he would face Mark Henry in a rather slow and plodding casket match. Were you glad to see The Undertaker return as the Dead Man, or would you have preferred that he stay as the American Badass a little bit longer? Let us know in the comment section down below. Champion again. We come to a point now where The Undertaker was just getting better and better as a performer, and he was on a strong run of excellent matches at WrestleMania. At WrestleMania 23, Undertaker, after winning the 2007 Royal Rumble, was challenging Batista for the World Heavyweight Championship, and this match is absolutely fantastic. These two had great chemistry together, and in all honesty, this would have been the far better match to close the show with. The following year, at WrestleMania 24, Undertaker would compete again for the World Heavyweight Championship, this time against Edge, in what is another fantastic and entertaining match. This would be the first time since WrestleMania 13 where Undertaker got to close the show at a WrestleMania. Are you ready? The next 4 years arguably feature The Undertaker's best WrestleMania matches. At WrestleMania 25, he had an epic encounter with Shawn Michaels, and then the following year they faced off again, but this time Shawn's career was on the line. It was career versus streak, and you are not sure which way the match was going to go. Both of these matches are incredible, and which one is best really is subjective, as there's no right answer. At WrestleMania 27, Undertaker would take on Shawn Michaels' buddy Triple H, who was out for revenge after The Undertaker retired his friend. And this is another excellent match that was somehow topped the next year as Undertaker faced Triple H in a Hell in a Cell match, which featured Shawn Michaels as the special guest referee. What a match this is. There is a fantastic part in the match where you really do think this is it for the streak. In poor taste, at WrestleMania 29 in 2013, we would see Undertaker face off against CM Punk, which would be the last match to be part of the streak. This is a decent enough match, but Undertaker had clearly started to slow down by this point. Still, the two entertained the fans watching. However, what most people remember about this match is that first of all, it would be CM Punk's last WrestleMania appearance, but also some of the comments that were made about Paul Bearer were seen as going too far and being in poor taste. We'd love to hear your thoughts on that in the comments section down below.
Oh. Again, no disrespect intended.
The end of the streak. That brings us to WrestleMania 30, where Undertaker would face Brock Lesnar. In a truly shocking event, the WWE decided that this was the time to end the streak. Many people say that they understand why, but we do not. Brock Lesnar was already a made man, a champion, a main event superstar, and he looked no better for ending the Undertaker's streak at all. It was completely unnecessary and did nothing to further the character of Brock Lesnar. It was like the WWE decided to do this for the next 5 minutes of shock value that followed. Looking back, it would have made far more sense for them to just end it back at WrestleMania 21, when Randy Orton was coming into his own as a real main event talent. A win back then would have truly meant something for Randy Orton. The win that Brock got at WrestleMania 30 really did nothing to enhance his character at all. After this, Undertaker would win a few more matches at WrestleMania and eventually lose another one to Roman Reigns. But apart from the entertaining Boneyard match with AJ Styles at WrestleMania 36, none of them were good or felt like they meant anything, as the streak was gone. Thanks for taking this journey through Undertaker's WrestleMania streak with us today. We'd love to know what your favourite matches of his from WrestleMania are, and be sure to let us know if you felt that ending the streak when they did was the right thing. Be sure to subscribe, and if you enjoyed the video, please leave us a like.